So as you know, 8 years ago, I was selected as the parliamentary candidate for the Conservative Party in this area. And among a lot of other things, I promised you that I would fight the threat of Heathrow expansion, which has been a sword hanging over this community for years. I promised you as well that if my party won the election, Heathrow expansion would be off the agenda. It would be scrapped. And I wasn't making that up. You will remember that my party leader, our party leader, the then leader of the opposition, made the same promise directly to us in this constituency. He came here and he told us, you'll remember, no ifs, no buts, there will be no third runway. And it was music to our ears at the time. Not everyone believed him. People tend to assume the worst in politicians. They tend to expect political promises to be broken. So I followed that promise with one of my own. I told you and I told my future constituents that if my party changed its position on Heathrow, I would trigger a by-election and I would give you a chance to vote again. There was no small print, no expiry date, no ambiguity. It was a very simple promise. And it mattered. And I know it mattered because the thought of Heathrow expansion fills the vast majority of my constituents with dread. As you know, Heathrow is already the noisiest airport in Europe by a huge margin. Adding a third runway will drag nearly 1 million people into Heathrow's noise footprint. Heathrow is already breaking pollution limits. A third runway will add around 300,000 additional flights, 25 million extra road passenger journeys. And the cost of this project will fall largely to the taxpayer. Heathrow is already the most expensive airport in the world. The surface transport costs alone to accommodate all that extra traffic will be up to £20 billion, and that is a bill which we're going to have to pay. That's why my party promise mattered, and it's why my promise mattered, and it's why so many people in this community today feel so badly let down. Now, I want to be clear, this is not the end. The government has chosen the most polluting, the most disruptive, the most expensive option, but it has also chosen the option with the least likelihood of actually being delivered. The sheer complexity, the legal risks, the costs means that Heathrow expansion is not going to get off the ground. And I believe this will be a millstone around this government's neck for many, many years to come. Now, I love my constituency with a passion. I've lived here almost my entire life, and being sent to Westminster by you to represent you has been a gigantic honour, and it's been a privilege working closely and alongside my local Conservative Council colleagues. They've been delivering for our residents, keeping their promises, keeping our promises, and serving our community. But today, as you know, I have to honour my promise. And so I've resigned as your Member of Parliament, and I'll be standing in the by-election as an independent candidate. Now, I know that there will be some who see the government's decision today not as the outrage that it is, but as an opportunity to advance their party interests. But this election must be a referendum on Heathrow expansion. It is our chance to send a message to government and to Heathrow via the ballot box. And so I'm asking you to give me the mandate I need to continue fighting this fight. Thank you all very much indeed.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.